Elvis Presley. Every casino has an Elvis show. In fact, on many of my book covers that have to deal with Las Vegas, you'll see that the models have a Elvis theme, either Elvis tattooed across their chest or an Elvis sign. And that happens. That happens. You can go to the Elvis shows. In fact, there was a nightclub that I was at, and the girls were dancing, and this guy walked in, and he was just one of the hundreds of guys that came in on a Friday night, and nobody made much deal about it. And then somebody told the dancers that were in the nightclub that he was the Elvis impersonator for a new show in town called Rock of Ages. And it was such a big deal that the girls didn't believe it at first. So they ran around the room trying to confirm it with his friends and asked questions, and someone grabbed their smartphones and went on the internet to check. And when they finally confirmed that the guy that was in the nightclub was the Elvis impersonator for the new premiere show in Las Vegas, they rushed him. They started handing him his their phone numbers, asking for his phone numbers. The girls got so excited. It was unbelievable. And I was there, and I remember it being such a big deal. Oh, yeah, and they went up to the manager and asked if they could borrow the manager's camera for the auditioning girls so that they could take pictures with the guy to say that they had a picture taken with them in the club. There was one girl, a tall brunette, and I can't say her name, but I can tell you that she never gave her phone number out to anybody. And she was very private about her life outside of the club. And it was the first time I saw her give her phone number to the Elvis impersonator. She took a picture with him with the general manager's camera, and then she asked, talked to him for a while, and they swapped phone numbers. And she had never, ever showed an interest in anyone that came into the club from the outside world before. This was a first. But Elvis has that much strength in Las Vegas. And here's a book on Elvis's life, and of course, his life in Las Vegas at the various shows. The outside of the then new International Hotel, Elvis smashed all existing Las Vegas attendance records while performing there. Opposite page, early on in the 1970s, Elvis began performing in the flashy jumpsuits that soon became his trademark style. Many of the casinos, whenever you hear stories about the renovations or reconstructions and how they're reinventing themselves, go into how Elvis had lived there, how Elvis had stayed there, how Elvis had... Oh, here's Graceland. I've been in Graceland 3 times. I wrote about it in one of my murder mysteries, one of the first novels that I had ever written in New York City. And it started off as being a book about the history of rock and roll, and then some literary agents and publishers laughed and told me that there were 80,000 million books on rock and roll, and that even if I had written a book about the origins from New Orleans to the Blues Highway up into Memphis and Graceland, that it wouldn't matter. Actually, I caught a lot of what I did on video, so I have the videos, and the videos can be found online now. But I only say that because a lot of people don't believe I've even written books on musicians, let alone gone to the King's house in Graceland. But I've been there twice, and I wrote about it, even to the extent that when I was filming and writing the first time, there was a Krispy Kreme right next to Graceland that is now closed all of a sudden because people started just changing. The whole area changed so much. And you have the Heartbreak Hotel right down the street. But every time I go to Memphis, it's changed. I had a friend named Brian who worked at a nightclub that I worked at in San Francisco. He went to high school with my little brother. He ended up living in Memphis for a while, and he really liked it. He had some amazing experiences there. Actually, I wish I'd spend more time with Brian to hear about his experiences in Memphis, because I'm sure they were different from mine. And to tell you the truth, when I was in Las Vegas and I was visiting Elvis's home in Graceland, here he is as a kid, it was so hot and humid along the Mississippi that being from the coastal seaport of San Francisco, living along the beaches at San Francisco State University where we had constant fog and nice cool air, I wasn't used to the humidity in Memphis, and I had to stay in the air-conditioned rooms where I wrote.